When a player is first drafted, they are picked up by a team and signed to a 7-year minimum contract. That 7-year minor league minimum contract entails a certain amount of pay at each level. We are considered seasonal employees thanks to some clever lobbying by the MLB. We can legally not be paid a living wage. At one point we did the math for the amount of hours that we spent at the field, and it came out to about $4 an hour. Now I think it's up to about $7. It still is about half of the going rate considering we work roughly 60 hours a week. The income is impossible to live on.
The income is impossible to live on. And so when we think about people receiving poverty wages, I'm sure many of us did not think that the minor league baseball players were among that group. Quite frankly, nobody should be in that group. When we look at baseball or look at any other sport, we do come to believe that everybody's living the high life. There's some good news, if we can call it good news. It's some good news because the union pushed and they were able to, in some negotiations, get a pay increase for those players. This headline right here, minor league baseball players poised to more than double pay with first union contract. This reporting coming from Common Dreams. Kenny, thank you for it. Major League Baseball and recently unionized major league players working for MLB team affiliates reached a tentative deal Wednesday on a historic first collective bargaining agreement. The pending 5-year contract is set to more than double the pay of athletes who currently receive poverty wages, even though the average MLB team is worth more than $2 billion with a B. And here's more from ESPN's Jeff Passan, who has covered baseball for years. Jeff writes, after years of disillusionment among future minor leaguers about paltry salaries forcing them to work off-season jobs, and coincidentally, on the day a judge approved a $185 million settlement, the league will pay players who accused it of violating minimum wage laws. The parties agreed on a deal that went out to a vote among the union's rank and file, and that will need to be approved by owners as well before it is formalized. The agreement could be announced officially as early as Friday, the first day of games in the minor leagues. And Jeff broke down just how little these players make and still how little they will make in a tweet. Details on pay increases in the minor leagues. Complex league from $4,000 per year to $19,800 per year. Low A, $11,000 from $11,000 to $26,000. High A from $11,000 to $27,300. AA 13,000 and some change to 30,000, and the triple A 17,500 to 35,000 and some change. Players will be paid almost year round aside from a 6-week break in the winter. Now, we want you to compare that with the average salary of the MLB players. This headline right here, MLB average salaries rose 14.8% to a record $4.22 million last season. And that's if these minor league players are lucky to make it to the major leagues. All of them don't make it. This almost 10% of the approximately 7,000 players in the minor leagues make it to the majors, and even fewer reach free agency, making signing a multi-million-dollar major league contract nearly impossible. And according to Forbes, all 30 major league baseball teams are worth $1 billion or more, with the New York Yankees topping the list at being worth $7.1 billion. Benny, I know we're winding down on the show. I think we might even have 2 minutes left, but man, this is something else.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where when it comes to professional athletes, right, whether it be the minor leagues or major leagues, fundamentally, the most important thing to understand is that they are workers. At the core, at the end of the day, it is the relationship that you have to capital that determines your position in society. And baseball players, right, any professional sports players, they are the workers that are actually creating the value for these companies. And fundamentally, so long as there is that relationship between employer and employee there, you will have the owners of these baseball teams that want to exploit the players as much as they possibly can. And the players who are actually generating the real value will have to organize amongst themselves in order to demand living wages, fair wages, and all those things. And that is why even when you see like professional sports players like fighting for unions, you should support them and not make the mistake of assuming that, because some of them are making millions of dollars, it means that they're all just like, these like evil millionaires or whatever.
Yeah, true that. And I mean, I did not know how in dire straits the minor league players were. I mean, to not even make minimum wage is really a stain. It is a blot. And they are yet another example, as you are laying out. It is about the relationship between the employee and the employer. And in this country, we are really at an immoral level. So whether you be in the minor leagues or whether you be somebody that's serving in a restaurant making sub minimum wage, everybody deserves to make a living wage at what they do in this country, and we must do a better job.